Good morning, Texas, and welcome to another edition of Texas Today. Today we're going to be exploring some of our famous Texans. And today we have a special guest, Judge Roy Bean. Please give it up for Judge Roy Bean. Thank you. Judge Roy Bean, I'm so glad that you could join us today on our edition of Texas Today. Yes. I have a couple questions I'd like to ask you. First of all, how did you end up in Texas?
Well, during the Civil War, the Texas Army invaded New Mexico. After the Battle of Glorieta Pass in March 1862, the Texans began retreating to San Antonio. After I stole money from my brother's safe, I joined the retreating army. But for the remainder of the war, I ran a blockade by hauling cotton from San Antonio to British ships off the coast of Matamoros, then returning with supplies. So within the next 20 years, I lived in San Antonio, working nominally as a teamster, and got married to a 15-year-old and had 5 children to support.
Ooh, 5 children. That is interesting now, isn't it? Okay. And I hear that your neighborhood in San Antonio got the nickname Beanville. Is that right? And why is this?
Well, since I had 5 children to support, I had to peddle stolen firewood. Then I tried to run a dairy business, but soon was caught because I watered down the milk. Then later, worked as a butcher, rustling on bread and cattle from the other ranchers, and my business practices eventually earned my San Antonio nickname, Beanville.
Beanville, man, that is interesting. We do what we have to stay alive. Okay, and why? I hear that the Texas Rangers recommended you for the Justice of the Peace position, and why is that?
Well, after I fled my marriage and legal business in San Antonio, I was appointed Justice of the Peace because I had been a heavy drinker and a shady character. But I came highly recommended by the Texas Rangers, who felt he had what it would take.
Okay, that is very interesting. Okay, and you seem like a pretty tough guy. You said you were a heavy drinker, shady character. Now, did you play this tough guy act your whole life, or did you have a sensitive side in there?
Well, Cupcake, I do have a sensitive side for women. I love this woman named Jersey Lily, and I named my saloon after her. But I have a tough character also. I had a reputation for dwelling, for bragging, and gambling in cockfights.
Oh my, that is tough. Okay, and for our last question today, how did you get the name Law West of the Pecos?
Well, according to the myth, I was being called Law West of the Pecos because it was presumed that I kept a pet bear in my courtroom, that I sentenced dozens of men into the gallows, saying, hang them first, try them later. I was a merciless dispenser of justice, often called the hanging judge. But I think that title goes to Isaac Parker of Fort Smith, Arkansas, who sentenced 172 men to hang and actually strung up 88 of them. I threatened to hang hundreds, you see, but there is no evidence to suggest that I ever hung anybody. But I occasionally stage the hangings just to scare them criminals off.
My, that is very interesting. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Judge Roy Bean. We really appreciate it. Yes. And thank you, audience, for joining us. That's another episode of Texas Today. Make sure to tune back in.